Masami-san?
Yes, Taka-san. I think you can go ahead and then give the floor to Amparo if she can speak.
Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Taka. OECD session has just started. I would like to keep as much time as possible for the discussion and presentation by Amparo, but before that, please give us a chance of introducing ourselves a bit. Myself, Taka, my colleague Bertrand, and our boss Peter are member of OECD Bio, Food, and Feed Safety team. We are in charge of GE product. I have just said GE product, genetically engineering. It's a bit complicated, but there's also famous story that there are several terminology to express so-called recombinant DNA technology. But anyway, GE, genetically engineering product, is a type of world we live in. Bertrand, would you like to introduce yourself, or would you like to say something good to everybody?
Thank you very much, Taka. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Yes, thank you, Taka. I am Bertrand Dagali, also part of this OECD team, and as Taka has just said, the three of us are working on the risk assessment of the genetically engineered products, and this is what we focus on by developing tools to help the risk assessors and more widely the scientific community to do this risk assessment. But let us maybe now turn the floor to our colleague from Philippines, Amparo, for her to deliver a presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Taka, and thank you, Bertrand. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Amparo, we can hear you, please. So please go on. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much for this opportunity to speak on our experience on using the OECD Biosafety Database. The OECD public database basically provides for us scientific and technical data on authorized or approved events or products derived from modern biotechnology. And these are authorized in countries. If you're aware, as you may be aware, the unique identifier is the method by which one can access the scientific and technical data. And basically, the OECD database is organized in unique identifiers from country and trade. As range, for example, the first one, ACNS, BNO, then 11-5. So the first three and the verification number is the last one. And you can see the organism in the second column, traits, country, and date of approval. The unique identifier, if you click it, it will provide you the decision document in which the country, where that transformation event is approved. So, for example, for transformation event OXY-235, its approval in Australia. Hello?
Amparo, it seems we have problem with image.
Sorry, we had some problems, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But, yes, and also, yeah, sorry about that. So, yeah, so through the unique identifier, you can access actually the technical site information, which you find in the screen. In terms of yeah, the next category of the data you can see is if you're familiar with the organism, but the unique identifier can go to the organism. So you have it again in alphabetical order: alpha, canola, carnation, etc. And in the case of corn and maize, the trait is the first column is a unique identifier trait, then the country and the date of approval. So the unique, if you click again the unique identifier, you can have access to all the technical scientific data that you would like to see. Are listed in the BioTrack database, and you can see the products that have been developing and have been commercially approved or authorized. So again, the data provides a unique. Well, every country is each country has its own. For example, in the case of Australia, the authorized organisms are listed in the second column, and the traits are found in the third. So if you look at if you click to the unique identifier, then again you can find all the scientific data related to the transformation event. Well, a very important portion, of course, in modern biotechnology is the trait that is introduced. So any trait, if you click onto the trait, then you would see where it has been introduced, the host organism, the country that has first approved date, the date of approval, and again, very important, the unique identifier provides you access to all the scientific and technical data. So, in addition to the there are also several information that you see in the BioTrack Biosafety database, and we have, for example, the documents. The documents, there are two sets of documents. First, document harmonization for oversight in biotechnology, and one on the safety of novel foods and feeds. On the concession documents of the first category, basically these are biology documents or trait documents. And again, you have the reports to the GA in 2000 and other publications. On the safety of novel foods and feeds, consensus documents basically refer to the composition consideration documents. And these are, we can give you examples later on. Okay, so for the database also provides regulatory contacts in OECD member countries, and the page includes very important information on policy, regulatory schemes, products approved, organizational structure, and the like. So for us, our regulators, policymakers, if we have actually want to access, for example, the policies or regulations, we can use this database. What is the use of the OECD database in the countries? Well, the BIOTOC database basically complements and supports the biosafety policy and regulatory work in the Philippines. For example, when our regulatory agencies receive applications for importation release into the environment, including those for food and feed, and they want to seek clarifications on technical issues which they may have difficulty in clarifying or understanding, they can go through the decision documents, which are the which we earlier saw in the when we click the the unique identifier, and yes, and then we can see the connection, the link to the decision document. So this is very important for the regulatory agencies. And also the regulatory agencies can use the database to monitor approvals in other countries. As you are aware, this is considered in the approval of the transformation event, the use in other countries. Second is that we have used a compositional considerations document for the development of this assessment instrument for rice. As you're aware, the Philippines has been developing golden rice, and we need to formulate a risk assessment instrument specifically for golden rice. So we use the compositional considerations document as a basis, and we come up with our own risk assessment instrument. Second, we also have been studying the document low level of transgenic plants in seed and commodities, environmental safety assessment, availability and use of information. We don't have a on this yet, but we know that there are recommendations in this document which we can use once we encounter low level presence of strategic plants in seed and commodities. And we actually had it experienced earlier, so we used one of those recommendations already. In our early days, it was these two documents were very important to our work. The report of working group on harmonization of regulatory oversight in biotechnology, the report of the task force of novel foods and feeds. Our regulations were issued in 2002. These documents basically help us look at the basic information and the parameters on what we should be regulating, or what should be part of the risk assessment. So, for me and for other technical persons, actually, this actually introduction to regulation, what we should watch out for, what are the issues, and basically how the approaches for environmental safety assessment and food safety assessment. I think for us, this was a very important document in the early days to help us really understand how we should go forward with our regulations. Again, I think it was just, we want to emphasize that the unique identifier actually is very important, because it basically opens the door for you to all the scientific and technical data that are relevant to your risk assessment. And we earlier have already demonstrated how it can be used. And again, for the Philippines, there are a lot of BioTrack documents which we have been using. And it is just very important for us to really understand what we should do with our policy and regulatory framework. I'd like to thank you again for listening to my presentation.
Thank you very much, Amparo. This is Bertrand speaking. I think we have heard your presentations with some technical difficulties in terms of sound, because for many of us we got interruptions in the flow of your presentation. However, However, I think that we have understood what the main points that you wanted to underline. Thank you very much for having shown that the OECD database can be used to find information on genetically engineered products browsed by a list of simple entries. You spoke first of the unique identifier, which was the starting point developed by OECD to be sure that we identify correctly these products. We can browse on this database by organism, by company, by country, by trades. The information that you have shown is certainly almost certainly also present in other databases, and certainly in the CBD database for sure. However, the angle taken by the OECD to develop this database was to limit the information to the official information. This is information that is always delivered by the officials in charge of risk assessment in their countries and participating in these OECD programs. The first thing, it's important. And then the choice to put only few information, the main one, in order to keep clarity and easy finding of the approvals, because that's where the OECD database focus on the approved products only. So thank you very much. You also said how you can use in your country, Philippines, other documents developed at OECD. Once again, these consensus documents being on biology of crops for the use of environmental risk assessment, or on the composition of crop, and you took the example of the rice, that are developed to assess the safety of the novel foods and feeds derived from these genetically engineered products. These documents are developed and are agreed by consensus by the authorities in charge of assessing and regulating these products in their own country. And this is probably one specificity, information available on the OECD database, as well as documents to help the risk assessment, are audited by the officials. So thank you very much. Now we, yes, please, Taka. Thank you.
Oh yes, thank you, Amparo, for the presentation. Amparo?
Taka, we can hear.
Thank you for Amparo for your presentation. Yeah. Can you hear my voice, Bertrand? Hello?
Yes, hello.
May I carry on, or is there? I see some trouble.
Yes, go ahead, Taka.
Hear you perfectly. So thank you very much, Taka-san. Can I chip in here? I think that the problem that people are having here is that I think that there was a connection from the Philippine side, and then I think that the first and second webinar actually focused on the use of the database from the database host side, so from FAO and OECD and CBD, and then so I think that we already know that what is the database is meant for from the organizer side, hosting side. But then this presentation from Amparo was really actually very good information for us, like me from FAO, because we are not the one who develop this great database that OECD has, but then I can see from the user side. So I really liked what Amparo outlined in her presentation. So this is just my brief comment on her presentation. So Taka-san, please move ahead and then go into this discussion session. I think you have time.
Oh, still a lot of time. Thanks, Masami-san. Okay, so thank you, Amparo, for your presentation. Now, I would like to give this floor to our active participant, Dane from South Africa. Dane,
hi, well.
Oh, I still have some hearing problem. Carry on with me.
I can hear you, but you're breaking up.
Okay. Hello, Dean.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dean. The presentation by Amparo is over, so now it's your turn. Listening to the presentation by Amparo, Dean, do you have anything you would like to ask her in your mind?
I have two questions, thank you. The first one is, could she please elaborate a bit more on who could be a user of the OECD database in the Philippines?
Yes. So the main users basically are technology developers, and but for us, regulatory and policy decision makers, for the regulatory agencies, the scientific and technical information is very important, especially in the risk assessment, environmental risk assessment, particularly. For the policymakers, well, it's actually, I cited the very important documents in the early days, which provided us the basic information that we should be looking at in environmental safety assessment and food and feed safety risk assessment. Basically, it's for capability building of the regulatory and policy makers. But it is open to all. The public, basically the technology developers, and well, anyone actually who has interest in looking at the scientific and technical data that is needed for the that was used for the authorization of the transformation event. Yes.
Dean, to come up with an idea, I add a question or comment to her presentation. Oh, I still have some difficulty in hearing. Hello?
Yes, Doc, sorry, there was some very bad background noise, so I couldn't hear what the people were saying. But the second question is, what is the main purpose for the use of the data stored in the OECD database?
Amparo? Did you hear the second question raised by Dean? Or would you like me to repeat it again.
Hello, Taka-san. This is Masami again from FAO. I would really like to chip in again. I think that Amparo might have a problem with her connection, so it might be better that we highlight, because the question that Justine asked is something that is a deeper insight on her presentation already. So I think that we can probably dig into her presentation if that is something appropriate. So if I may, I would like to draw everybody's attention to the following this BioTrack document information. I think that it is not quite, from my understanding from a different organization, this is not quite the data on the product database. This is the additional resources that goes with this database together. But then I think my perspective is that this is becoming a main key outputs of this OECD task force and working party on biosafety. And then I think that this is very, very widely used. And then this is FAO use it all the time, this compositional consideration documents also, and then also this consensus document is the big output. And then this is something that, for example, I use it all the time. And then I think that when I was speaking with Amparo, she said exactly the same, although the Philippines don't share the data yet on this OECD database. But then I think that the use of the data is quite heavy in terms of those key documents produced by the OECD, the working groups, and then also the task force. So this is something I can help and then chip in, and then hopefully that Amparo's connection problem will be resolved very soon. But then at this moment, Taka-san, can I suggest that probably Amparo's connection is not super reliable at this moment. Sorry about this. Back to you, Taka-san.
Yeah, thank you, Masami-san. Yeah, thank you for mentioning on our consensus document. And then thank you for giving me a chance of great advertisement moment for our product. Yeah, as you said, oh, may I? Oh,
Okay, I think it might be better that we have another, I mean, two more participants, active participants. Alexei is still online, and then also